Okay, so 2 nights ago, after an entire day of channeling and stuff. Oh, hi, Charlie here, Light Language Channel husband, Randy. And say hi.
Hi.
He doesn't want to be on camera, and he's agreeing to do this because he's a kind soul. And yeah, 2 nights ago, we were sitting here watching YouTube. I had taken some THC in because it had been a long day of just a bunch of stuff, and I really didn't think that I would be doing more channeled stuff because I did a bunch of things already and was just kind of trying to relax and enjoy the evening. And then I got an incoming like pew, hey message that came with a full flash vision. And the best way I can really describe it is, did you ever watch that So Raven?
No.
You never watched it?
No.
Okay, well, the way they showed it in That's So Raven to my memory, it was kind of like that, okay? A little bit like a whoa kind of thing. And that lined up with memory from during my NDE and some of the trans channel state stuff. That's all very confusing, but it was enough to just get me to at least record a video. But the actual vision itself was an earthquake here, and it was me, freak out, oh no, run to. We don't really have a place to actually be in, but because door frames, I don't know. It was very visceral, it was very vivid, and those kinds of visions are not something I've had before. I've had visions. I've had things that I've tried to predict. I've had things that I've channeled out that so far have not come true. I've had things that I've written and haven't recorded, but this is all just for sort of testing purposes, right? Is this real? Is this actually a thing? And specifically, is this a thing that I'm capable of doing? Namely, can I as a human actually feel an earthquake happening in a couple of days? I've heard of that being a thing. People predicting that kind of stuff because they can feel it. I don't necessarily always know when information, what it's actually coming from, because when you read Akashic Records, you're translating stuff. And I just sat down and opened my channel and let it come out. And I didn't know that what was going to come out came out. I did not know it was going to be an Arcturian Council message. I did not know it was going to be really kind of dramatic feeling, right? It was just sort of okay, this lines up with what I remember during trans channel state stuff, in a way that I've only experienced a handful of times before. So here's the thing. What time is it now? Because I did predict it at 6:13 or so. It's now 6 o'clock. Okay. See, I'm anxious. And all day Wednesday, before even that vision, Randy had a plume of anxiety, whole day. And then all day yesterday was my plume of anxiety day. How are you doing today now?
I'm okay.
Just uncomfortable about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of just having this on for the next, honestly, for me, I just wanted to turn this on and have a conversation with you about what the fuck it's like to be married to a person going through a spiritual awakening who keeps having visions. Some visions that are just kind of seem much more emotion based and much more healing based because they've been about death and stuff. But other visions like this, where it's I'm so sorry to say this out loud, but I had a vision about an earthquake and I don't really know what to do with that information because I don't know if it's accurate, but I'm going to try something with it. So, would you please tell our audience what you told me Wednesday night after I made the video and then showed you the video and then told you that I was not only going to post the video, but I was going to do what I said I was going to do in the video and send it to at least one person, reporter person, which I did do.
I told you shouldn't send it to that person. If you want to post it, then fine. That's basically in line with all the other stuff that you do. But
Yeah.
like, I did not think it was a good idea to include
The media.
yeah, essentially.
To be fair, though, the email that I sent wasn't, hey, I mean, it did have the words, yes, I did pull in a prediction about an earthquake. Just wanted to let you know. But it was also kind of a theatrical email that was basically, hey, I'm technically a story and a local story and maybe a colorful one. And like, it's been like a year of this so far. I'm of the like, hey, I have an avenue of support if people want to support us. I'm gonna try something and see. But I want to know now, a couple days later, how you're feeling about that decision. And just this in general, like, how does it feel to have a wife that's having visions of earthquake potentials? You can be honest, I promise.
I mean, I feel like the decision kind of resulted basically like I thought it would. As far as I know, you got like no response, no reaction, nothing.
Yeah, just ignored. Yeah. Which I kind of expected too.
Yeah.
Get that? I totally get that.
Honestly, if there was any sort of reaction, I expected it to be negative. So getting no reaction is, from my expectation, kind of the best thing that could have happened.
And how do you feel about the fact that I had an earthquake prediction?
I mean, you've had a bunch of predictions. And I don't know, from my perspective, it's not all that different from other ones.
Okay. It didn't have a larger level of urgency. It was kind of just in line with when with other ones that I've told you about. Literally just like, and I didn't tell you until like after the fact, especially, but
Sure.
I wrote about it on my Substack. Like I woke up to his mom not waking up news, and I was like, okay, well, I don't believe this because I've been getting weird visions of people dying incessantly, so I'm just gonna let this day play out and see what happens. Interestingly though, on that day she texted us in a group chat, and she doesn't do that ever, so I don't. So you basically, what, I don't know, I'm not trying to get you to like say something negative, I guess, but your I guess I'm just trying to get words to how you feel. Which it sounds like is, it seems like it is another thing that you are pulling in that is not reality based.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
And same. I mean, for me, yeah. If nothing else, the reason that I actually posted the video, so a couple things. One, when I did the video, I immediately upon finishing had like a 10 to 20 minute conversation, like back and forth with myself about how cringy that was, about how I'm definitely not posting that, I'm deleting that, I'm not, like, why did I do that? Like, why did I record that? Like, I had this, I've been doing the like, no more THC in videos, no more. Cause yeah, things come from big wide sources and they kind of go all over the place more than I already do.
Right.
Yeah. Like, no THC in my system tonight. Just putting it out there. But then I showed him the video because I was like, okay, well, I will at least show him so that he understands where I am mentally, apparently, because I still got the vision, you know? It does show up like an email. It shows up, I get a little internal knock knock, and they're like, hey, do you want this? And I'm like, give me a slight preview. The slight preview I got was that something that I'd already seen during a trance channel state that I'd been in, and I went, okay, I should pay attention to this, because this was part of these experiences that I had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the weeks leading up to this, there's been visions of death, of like loved ones. There's been visions of volcanoes. There's been visions of other earthquakes. Nothing with dates, though, and nothing with specificity beyond just, hey, they're here. And I have been really, really not understanding what the purpose of them is. Because I pull them in, I'll channel out a song. I won't record it, but I'll just be channeling out a song about it, because that's also just a way that I get it out. It's I haven't been able to find the purpose of it. And when that came through with date and time, and here's a flash of what could be, a potential of what could be, which was just not that bad of an earthquake, with the message of let it fall. Things. Like I saw things falling off, because we have stuff everywhere. Let it fall. Just stay and let it fall. And as we're getting, further into 6 o'clock now, I'm getting anxious, but there's just that part of me that goes, okay, but I've also been doing channeling with my fantasy writing. Mm-hmm. And I only recently started the fantasy writing for real, not big picture stuff, but like sitting down and writing it. So is it possible I just have my fantasy door open and it's stuck on dystopian future or natural disasters like content? So I kind of, well, after I watched the video with Randy, I basically listened to myself in the video and went, well, 1, I actually do kind of believe what I said. 2, ever since, every day I ask, I'm checking in, I'm like, still earthquake? And I get the internal, like, I'm like, okay, I still don't believe this. And I wanted to keep this recording. And then at 6:33, is what I said. I said I was going to get on live if there was one, and we still had power. In the video, and I'm gonna go live especially if there's not one, and be like, okay, so experiment done. I do not have the capacity to predict future things. I'm still investigating what it is that really does happen when I hit play on that channel, because that's still what happened. You open up a thing, you hit play, it plays through just like someone reading from a teleprompter, and then it's over, and I come back out of channel state. So it's like, I still have the question of what the fuck was that, if not true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there anything recently that's come out of me that you've had to overhear or I've said to you that has you concerned for my mental health, for us, for things? Because I've been very open about having gone into trance channel state and what that's done for you in very horrible ways, but recently.
Not immediately concerned, but I'm low-key generally concerned with how this happened before.
You want to explain more about that?
I mean, basically it happened the first time, and then roughly 7 months later it happened again, and then roughly 7 months later it happened again, and we're at a little over 5 months later from that. And
May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
It was right at the end of June. Yeah, I'm not like sitting here saying like it's some exact whatever. I'll feel a lot better in March or April and going forward if nothing like that happens again.
So is it just a multi-day trans-channel state that you're concerned about?
Yeah.
I have definitely been doing much more trans-channel stuff, but that's a little bit also why I've been practicing trans-channel stuff, because the singing is actually trans-channel state stuff. It is. I mean, you know this because it was what I was doing the first time.
I know.
Toward the end, I was talking the rest of the time, but.
And that's part of, where some of my concern comes from is that, like, with each of those times in the month or 2 months before it, there's a feeling of like things started to escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you start taking on new things and you start doing things more often, maybe that's just, hey, this is a new interesting thing, but there's an element of like, oh, is this thing's escalating? Like that's where some of my concern comes from. It's just,
I think the new things thing only started the last time though, because that wasn't the case in November. I mean, I'd started the Akashic Records School, but that was August. It wasn't like ramping up quite like that. And in April, we weren't really either. Because I mean, we were doing a lot of stuff, but it had been from January to April.
yeah.
But that was because that was when we truly got the self-love clicked on. And then, yeah, downloads started happening. That had never happened before. Like the kind of downloads where like you feel, like you literally feel, you're like, what is this sensation? Oh my God. Oh, and now there's a realization about something. Okay. That's how it started for me. Our spiritual awakening. Hit the self-love frequency and then downloads started happening, realization started happening, and then we died.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, that's where concern and apprehension comes from.
Understandable. Yeah. I do think I'm much more grounded in all of it at this point. I feel like I am, but then of course I'm personally bothered by what I channeled out. Like I'm bothered by the predictive nature of things because I don't care for that, and that's not what I remember, and that's not what really makes total sense to me just because of what I've seen in terms of timeline potentiality stuff. And to argue myself, and also things like natural disasters. There's kind of there's a solidity to certain things, right? Like, mm-hmm. Yeah. She says, continuing to question the clock and, yeah. So, okay, so it's 6:16, so at 6:13 nothing happened, so yep. There we go. I personally feel relieved by that, honestly. And, all right. So do you mind if we just hang out here until roughly 6:30?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to ask just my guides. So I just asked, is there an earthquake happening? And I literally just heard this is not something we can share right now. And then I'm just in the middle of something else. It's very convenient. So, do we just think that I have very weird creative things that happen on THC? I'm sure that's the most reasonable argument. Right?
Mm-hmm.
my only like valid and fair, but my only just response to that is the performative aspect of things, the ability to just go into open channel state and be like, and use me, go, and it's sort of like going into like a sleep mode a little bit yourself, and then you're sort of observing what comes out and having opinions on it. And it's why when I laugh during a trance channel like thing that's coming out, it can knock me out of the channel mode, because it's like I'm watching the TV of what my everything is doing, you know, and I can react, and I sometimes react to it, and it pops it out. But what am I trying to say? I'm just anxious. That's all. I'm just really anxious right now. And I'm anxious about the fact that I put the video out. I'm anxious about the fact that I emailed somebody about it. But I checked.
And that was part of my concern.
I know. No, I know. I checked in with how I felt. I checked in with like guides and like other things in the moment. Like just, you know, is this really what I want? Is it really okay? Is it really a thing? This is absolutely crazy. This is not typical. And I don't want to do a disservice to anyone for whom that kind of an I can actually feel this is real. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel like it's fiction to me, is the thing. To be able to know with enough clarity based on your channeled information. What do you think?
What do I think about what?
You're not in this world. You don't consume spiritual content. You have not gone through a near-death experience. You have not done channeling or learned to read the Akashic records. You don't use tarot. You don't, like, none of this stuff is in your world.
Sure.
Beyond the fact that you hear it from
tangential to it.
Yes. What is your view on even just the potentiality of that, the possibility of that? Even if it's not something I can do.
The possibility of what?
Of being able to predict a natural disaster with precision and with testable, measurable, here's the information I got, and we can use, you know, I don't know. It came through to me as like there is a potential for there to be an early warning system type of thing with how people are awakening. And that just does feel possible. Absolutely also feels possible that I cannot do that. Just like I can't fucking read tarot, which I can't. I mean, I can pull it up and I can like do the cards, but when I look at something, I'm like, all right, what were that? What were wands again? What were these? Like, it just doesn't click into my brain totally right.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the possibility of someone being able to predict something like a natural disaster with clarity that comes through with something like an Arcturian council?
I mean, if you can show me somebody who has done that and then it's verified where they say, okay, this is going to happen, and then it does happen and it's repeatable, then I could be inclined to believe it, but I have not seen anyone who's able to do that.
Yeah. And that's why I was testing it, right? I didn't need to channel that message out. And like any other vision that I get, I absolutely could have just been like, okay, well, I'll see what that is later. Because that's what I've been doing with my visions. I will journal about it, or I will write a poem about it if it's really like emotional, because that helps to kind of get the emotions of it out. Because sometimes it truly is just, like, this is what I know about for being an Akashic record reader. It's just the information that is in your highest good for that day. When you're getting any of this stuff, sometimes what's in your highest good is just to get you to do something or feel something or think something or be aware of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is enough to jostle it out. But yeah, I feel really stupid. I felt stupid when I did it, which is probably a pretty good indicator. If you're done and you feel stupid, but I also feel stupid basically every time I do a video where I'm channeling. Like, I don't really feel like this is stupid because this is just a conversation that I'm recording in the event that anyone is still watching, just for the purposes of the documentation of this whole nightmare that we have been going through together. Because it has been so fucking hard and so fucking confusing. And when something, the vision itself was one thing. The fact that I channeled out some big message thing from an Arcturian council, I've talked to Arcturians. I very much have had like I'm not interested in really continuing this whole like conversation because of what I want to do. And that sort of felt like we really want to know if you're willing to do something. Because if so, then there are more things that we want to continue with. An Akashic contract, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
4 things that, again, I remember about when I died. Like that's the through line for me. There's things I've forgotten about that time, because of course I have. There's been like a billion things.
Sure.
But contract with the Arcturians, no, I remember that. I remember it. That's part of why I did it. But obviously, if I'm very, very wrong, which is good, I don't hope for earthquakes, right? I don't hope for that shit. But this may have been an opportunity for me to basically renegotiate those contracts, or just see what it is I am willing to do in the event that I can verify things, right? This was me testing my own capacities to trust, to try, to hypothesize, and to see the results. And what time are we at?
We're at 6:24.
6:24. I mean, I said maybe between 6 and 6:30, just stay where you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm living up to doing. And I don't think that I would have done this if I had a large following. I can be completely honest about that. As of whenever I last looked, I had 24 subscribers. This was a second video that went out, and I already had a couple of other videos. I have some videos scheduled through Sunday, right? When I check my channel, usually there's no views and then maybe 1 or 2, and I'm like, hey, thanks for watching. So like, it is intentional. And it feels like my current conclusion is, yeah, whatever it is that you might be getting on that day, vision-wise, especially something that feels urgent and like, and it's definitely happening, doing something artistic with it was very helpful, very confusing at this point. Because now I'm not trusting those, you know. Something comes from Arcturian Council wisdom. Yeah, congratulations, everybody who's been trying to help me. I no longer trust those as anything beyond addition to my written works. I've been renegotiating a lot of Akashic contracts lately. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add about anything we've talked about? Just your perspective on our life right now? The husband of a person going through this?
I mean, that's a very open-ended question.
It's a very telling sigh.
I don't have anything that immediately comes to mind.
Are you relieved to know that if I get another earthquake vision, I'm not making a video about it?
I mean, yeah.
I had to test it. That's probably the thing that's most frustrating about me being who I am. You know when you're frustrated about everything about yourself and you're just like, God damn it, why am I like this? That feeling? Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to be mean in saying this, but given that you've had various predictions, like you were talking about with deaths and other things, and all of them have been wrong,
They've all
my
been.
recommendation would be, yeah, maybe, be extremely skeptical.
I am. I truly am. That video was different. And I don't know if it's because it was... So, at this point, because I'm so relieved, there has been no, or, you know what? I don't care. I'm calling it early. Who cares, right? No earthquake. Yay. I have been trying to get my writing career, specifically in the fantasy realm, to be seen.
Sure.
I've put a bunch of things out there, and yes, I did a very hey, person in Connecticut, this place that absolutely hates me, look at me, look at me. I even knew when I was doing it, I was like, this is my most viral potential thing yet. Not necessarily because of the video, but with what people can do with it.
Right.
And calling me a fraud, and calling me an idiot, a crazy person, all the horrible shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was part of my concern, was like,
I know.
Are pushing to what I would have to assume are more traditional people, a bunch of content that is not going to be looked upon favorably.
No, but if they talk about me, it might get to the right people.
I mean,
I already
go through a lot of the wrong people to get there.
Baby, who haven't I been through that's the wrong people? Honey, our life is garbage. It's fucking shit. We are trapped in hell. We are literally trapped in hell. We can't leave. We can't leave. We're too poor. Connecticut took all of our savings. No, we cannot leave.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
I know.
Sorry for getting animated. It's my honesty show.
Yeah, I know.
But we cannot leave. And this is... It is entirely possible that I was guided into... I was going to say tricked. I was guided into doing something that could be a real thing for someone who is capable of doing this, because that's a little bit of what I've been doing too. There's been some of the content that I've made on this channel has been, hey, I pulled this idea out of the Akashic realm, I tried it, it's not for me, but I hope it inspires someone to do with it themselves what comes through for them, right? That is a little bit of what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that video is that. Sort of a hey, I can't do this, but if for some reason this speaks to you as oh shit, you know what? I have actually been predicting these things, and I was right, and now I've predicted it before it happened, and so I'm going to say something. Permission slipping, right? This entire channel has basically been some iteration of permission slips. Same with Substack. Same with all of this content, because my actual aim with all of this shit, and I love you, but this is called disclosure content, and I'm not really that interested in being someone who is on the Truman Show. It's not really what I want. But what I want is freedom. What I want is to be able to write for pay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was part of how I get there, and public scrutiny is just a way that I get through there. I can handle that, and I think that you can too. Now, what I don't look forward to is the fact that I truly do worry about your job security in the event that people decide to just drag me through the mud, because it can happen, but it just could happen.
Yeah.
Shouldn't. That would be really wrong, but it's not like, you know, what your wife does online is a protected a protected work thing. So that does concern me. But I would really hope that if that really is what happens, that, well, that something like this, and whoever it is that's watching it, amidst all of the scrutiny, would be like, oh, I have the power to actually help them, so I'm going to try. I don't know. I still feel like I was guided to do that. I do.
I know.
I'm not doing it again. I'm going to say that to myself and to everybody else. No more warning content from Charlie. Are we clear? Everybody good? I'm hearing nothing. Crickets. Okay, well. Conscious choice, right? You never... I'm doing things that I did not think were possible in terms of healing, of just some of the patterns of behavior, and like, dude, the eating disorder is just gone, right? Like there's levels of things that have been impossible for us that I can now do. And even before now, they were doing things that were kind of impossible too. I do an Akashic record reading with someone, and I say what comes out of me is stuff I'm learning as it comes out, and the other person is validating every time. It blows my mind every time, because I go into it open, but every time also going like, well, I don't see how this is possible, but, and then it comes on out. What time is it?
6:34.
Okay, so I'm late to go be live. So I'm going to go get live real quick and just do a very quick video on that. And then I'm going to post this. Just as a follow-up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah. So the question that I posed on that video was, is this art, or is this actual prediction that I'm capable of doing? Art seems to be where I have fallen. Channeling is art. It is.
Sure. I mean, anything's art.
Yes, but there is an art to the type of channeling I'm doing. There is you have to kind of practice it. You have to get good. You have to get better at it. And honestly, the other potentials that came with that being true, I'm so glad that's fiction. Oh my God. I'm so glad it's fiction. It's so relieving. So I've got a really fantastic few storylines for some books then. So okay. Went to Stanwell State to get some fiction books, and then mistook that for things that I was doing in real time. Well, I look forward to finding out if humans are capable of being early warnings for natural disasters, so that we can all benefit from that. Once it is verified, obviously. It sucks that in order to verify that, you have to it has to come after casualties. That sucks, but I actually do think that's where humans are going. Capable of using our new skills in ways that will benefit us all. That's what I see. Anything you'd like to finish out with or close out with? I'm not going to make him do this again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not good content.
I mean, I would argue I'm not either. So I'm just experimental content of experiments. This was my experiment. I was wrong. Makes sense. That's science. I did the best I could with the information I had at the time. And what came out of me is still what? I don't know. I truly don't. Sort of a wait and see situation. Okay. Gonna actually stop now. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Love you. Enjoy whatever sound bites you got from that. Okay.